Whoa!
Some sort of ritual things going on right now. They got people in the waterfall naked.
Oh, no, no.
Dee's Dark Adventures is a YouTube channel run by solo explorer Dee, who's known for filming quiet nighttime walks through forests, parks, and remote trails. Her content often captures how quickly a normal walk can turn tense, with darkness, fog, and distant sounds making everything feel more unsettling. On August 11th, 2023, she went out to explore a wooded park she had visited many times before. But what started as a routine evening walk changed when she came across a narrow side trail branching off from a bike path deep in the forest.
Oh God, like it's so eerie right where I'm at. Like I hear crickets and stuff. That was metal. I've never been on this trail before. Not familiar with it. So I'm a little weary here. It's gravel at one point. Mainly just dirt now. I heard a whistle. I just heard a whistle. Oh, see? You can't see anything.
As the evening goes on, the mood along the trail starts to shift. The fog gets thicker between the trees, making it harder to see and warping the shapes of branches and shadows. Then a faint noise breaks the silence. First, a quiet whistle somewhere in the forest, followed by the clear sound of sticks snapping underfoot. Still curious, she keeps moving deeper into the woods, not realizing the night is about to become even more unsettling.
Who's out here with me? Another thing, you all can see the spider webs, right? But right about that height, which is about another foot above me, so 6'6", it's gone. I haven't ran into any webs. Oh, now that I said that, here's one. Ooh. Doggy. But I haven't really ran into any. Look. See, man, I'm done with it. No. Stop a minute. I heard something walking behind me there, and now it's on my left side. It was on my right. Ah!
As Dee walks along the narrow trail, the tension builds when she hears twigs snapping behind her, followed by a distant shout that suddenly fades. The sound doesn't seem clearly human or animal, which makes it more unsettling. Feeling unsafe, she runs through the darkness to get out of the woods. Even after reaching safety, she's left wondering what was following her, since the noises suggested something nearby, but she never saw anything. This video is from Grizzly Gaz's channel, where he shares camping trips and quiet nights in the woods. On October 30th, 2022, he returned to a secluded spot he had visited before, looking for some peace. The night started off calm as he set up his new hammock and tested his gear. He planned to check out some strange things he had noticed on earlier trips, with his dog Fendi by his side.
Look how creepy it is in here already. Beautiful, but creepy. Now you see this? My camp is down at the bottom of there, and then there's another steep banking at that side on top of that ridge up there. Right, so this is where I usually have my hammock set up across here, down there. But there used to be another tree here somewhere, but I don't know where that's gone. They've been trying to saw that down for some reason. Poor tree. That's where the stream is, where we've come up. That's where the big banking is, where we were before. There's a path that runs along top of that ridge.
Before settling in, Gaz looked over his campsite and noticed the steep bank, a blocked trail, and odd saw marks on a tree. He then set up a trail camera near the stream facing his camp and finished preparing his gear before the rain started. Once everything was ready, he got into his hammock as it grew dark, and the temperature dropped while the sounds of the forest began to change.
Hello? Sure, I just heard someone whistling. Hello? Birds are going nuts again. At least it's not them blackbirds that are going nuts.
As Gaz sat quietly in the dark, birds suddenly started calling loudly and aggressively. Then a sharp, thin whistling sound echoed through the forest, rising and falling in a way that didn't match the wind or the stream. He looked around and called out, but got no response. Standing still, he tried to figure out where it was coming from, and moments later, the atmosphere became heavier and more unsettling.
I use much light because I don't want people to know that I'm here, because you can see when there's light down here. One at times that I were here, I had a fire down here, and then I went for a wander up there. You're going to be able to see lights and stuff down here.
What year is it, Amber?
What year is it, Amber? Hello? Is there anyone here? Hello? Anyone here?
He then heard coughing from somewhere in the darkness, close enough to notice but with nothing visible in the light. Trying to stay calm, he turned off his lights to avoid drawing attention. In complete darkness, he could hear twigs snapping, crows, and movement in the distance more clearly. He called out a few times to see if anyone was there, but got no response.
I'm gonna go grab the trail camera, see if we've with that tree right there. It was falling off. It's a bit strange.
Gaz woke up, not remembering anything unusual from the night, but when he went to check his trail camera, he saw it hanging loose with the strap undone and the angle changed. Feeling uneasy, he checked the footage to see what had happened, but it only left him with more questions.
Well, that's a f***ing bummer, isn't it? Which means I probably aren't caught out. Oh, look at this thing. Oh, that's creepy. Someone crouching down in front of the camera.
The trail camera showed a figure crouching right in front of it during the night. It wasn't clear, but the shape and how close it was didn't look like an animal. That was enough to unsettle him, so he quickly packed up and got ready to leave. The thought that someone or something had been nearby while he slept didn't sit right, and it left one question: who was out there moving around in the woods that night? This story is from the channel Brothers Wild, run by Lewis and Ash, where they share their outdoor trips and paranormal explorations in remote places. On February 24th, 2024, Ash went on an overnight camping trip with his friend Rich in Bersham Woods near the old Ironworks ruins, an area known for its dark history. They set up camp in a quiet spot, and at first everything felt calm, but that didn't last long.
The last time we were up here, I heard somebody behind me walking, and when I turned round, nobody was there. So we've come back here in hope to do a read-in later on and try and make contact with anyone or any lost soul or energy, whatever you want to believe it is. Yeah, just for you guys, just for you guys.
I'm looking turtle.
Yeah. We're just starting to get the fire going now as well. What was that?
That wasn't me. It was hot.
Did you hear something?
Yeah, it was hot.
We're just starting to get the fire going now as well. There's no one around.
That was weird.
That was really loud.
Yeah. There's nobody. Nobody.
What the hell? So I got the fire started. Rich is going to keep it going.
While sitting by the fire drinking whiskey, Ash and Rich suddenly heard a loud scream echo through the woods. They stopped, confused, especially since everything had been completely quiet just moments before. Ash had already checked the area earlier and hadn't seen anyone around, which made it even stranger. Not knowing what to make of it, they brushed it off and kept going. Later, Ash used a spirit talker, and after a quiet start, something finally responded, making the whole place feel a lot more unsettling.
Let me just get my other torch on, Rich. What was that? Oh my God! Did you hear that? You heard that, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah,
That was
definitely.
loud. I'm trying not to freak out now.
That.
That sounds like screaming and...
moaning, yeah. What?
And I hear a humming. I hear a humming. That is spooky, Vic. That's really, really spooky, mate.
It's very deep in the woods now, aren't
Hang on. It sounds like about 20, 30 people.
it? Miles away from the. What's. It's a long walk to get here, isn't it? Long quiet night.
What
to get
is
here.
that?
The quiet was suddenly broken with loud mumbling and distant screams, making Ash and Rich freeze as they tried to figure it out. It sounded like a lot of voices, maybe 20 or 30 people somewhere in the woods, which didn't make any sense in the middle of the night. Realizing they weren't alone, they cautiously started moving toward the sound to see where it was coming from.
It sounds like something bloody satanic. Shh, just be quiet, Rich. Be quiet a minute, mate. What the hell is it? I see lights. What the hell is this? Be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, yeah? Don't get seen. Don't get seen, don't get seen. Some sort of ritual things going on right now. They got people on the waterfall naked. They're all naked. That is not normal, guys. We're getting out of here. They're all naked, swimming in the waterfall, chanting. That is weird. That's witchcraft stuff. Let's get out of here. So we just got back to camp, guys, and that was scary, right? That was not normal, right? That was not normal for this place. They are screaming and chanting in the background, and they're swimming. You can hear them now. It sounds so demonic.
Right.
It's too late too cold to be doing that. It sounds so demonic what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're real. I don't know if they were ghosts. I don't know if this camera's picked it up. I need to look back at the footage. I'm getting so excited and so nervous at the same time.
As they moved closer, the voices got clearer and more disturbing, sounding like dozens of people chanting and screaming together. When they reached a waterfall, they saw a group of around 20 people in the water, dancing and chanting in sync like some kind of ritual. The scene didn't make sense, especially in the freezing cold, and it felt deeply unsettling. Not wanting to risk getting closer, they quietly backed away and returned to their campsite. Since moving around in the dark was risky, they stayed the night and left in the morning, still unsure who those people were or what they were doing. In August 2013, a couple vacationing on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, accidentally captured one of the most unsettling alleged Bigfoot sightings. While exploring a secluded back road near Port Renfrew, they stopped by a nearly dry creek bed and followed it into the woods. About 200 feet in, they heard branches snapping and spotted a massive gray figure swaying among the trees. At first, it could be mistaken for a bear, but closer observation suggests something entirely different. The footage runs for over 2 minutes, unusually long for a Bigfoot-type sighting, and shows a broad figure with a cone-shaped head, heavy shoulders, and a muscular back. At one point, a long left arm stretches into the foliage, far longer than a bear's, and some frames even hint at a face with a wide, flat nose, a chin, and a deep-set eye in an ape-like skull. The couple, experienced with wildlife, insist it wasn't a bear. It was too tall, too human-like, and had a grayish-silver coat uncommon even for black bears. Once the figure disappeared into the woods, they quietly left and later uploaded the video to their small channel without trying to monetize or exaggerate it. Whatever they caught that day was extraordinary, and the fact that it wasn't alone makes the sighting even more compelling. This clip is from Overland Nomad, a US-based channel that focuses on off-road travel, remote camping, and exploring the wilderness. On February 24th, 2026, the event took place at South Padre Island in Texas.
Take a break from work, from daily life, and come out here in the wilderness and sit by the fire. I think all of us need a little reset every so often, doesn't matter who, everyone needs one. It's important.
David settles into his beach campsite with his dog, Pipe he hired nearby after finishing his setup. He starts cooking fajitas and sets up some lights around the area. The beach is mostly empty, with only a few fishermen far in the distance, and everything feels calm and isolated as the wind begins to die down.
cooking, and I was just having to stare through the window, and I see a light like coming up, like someone walking. And yeah, it was a lady. I saw there was a car that went up to the East Cut, and I do know that there's one car out there. I could see its lights, and I guess they're stuck. I would love to help, but I'm by myself. There's no one out here, and I don't know if it's a trap.
While cooking, David noticed a light moving toward his campsite. As it got closer, he saw it was a woman whose vehicle was stuck in the sand. She explained what happened, but acted strangely when he offered help, even refusing to use his phone. Her behavior made him uneasy, especially in such an isolated place, so he decided to pack up and leave.
I was thinking about just camping a few miles south. She's like, I don't know how you're gonna go to sleep. I called 911. I called the county just to report it, and then I told them my predicament, and the guy was like, oh yeah, that sounds super sketchy, I'd probably leave.
After packing up his gear, David contacted local authorities to report the situation, but they told him no help could be sent right away. With no support nearby, he confirmed his decision to leave the area. This part follows Grizzly Gaz, who usually shares his wild camping, van trips, and remote adventures while talking about the history and folklore of the places he visits, often with his dog Fendi. On March 8, 2026, he headed out to camp in a remote area of the moors, known for its old pagan history and legends. The place was far from any kind of civilization, and even though the trip started off peacefully, it didn't stay that way for long.
Look at it. Glorious, isn't it? Oh my word. Where are you off? We're going up this way. Come on. You alright? You're struggling, aren't you already, kid? And I think one of those stones up there is called the Sphinx. Or I could just be making all this up. You never know, do you? Look at her. Loving life, aren't you, mate? No? Go on. Here we go, look. The staple of every wild camper's diet. Whoop. Steady on, Gaz, steady on. Ooh, that little treats. Yummy nums. It were like a grey colour before, but well, it still looks grey. It is more of a like a olive greeny colour.
Once it got completely dark, Gaz went into his tent to rest. But just as things went quiet, something suddenly grabbed his attention.
Can you hear that? What is that? Hear that? Look, 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 look. It's probably a train in distance. People still out walking dogs and that.
At first, he heard faint wind chime, sounds coming from the woods. Curious, he looked outside and saw two people with a dog walking up the hill, so he assumed the noise came from them and went back into his tent. But just a few minutes later, he heard something again, this time much closer, right near his campsite.
They just stood outside my tent talking. It's nearly 10:30 at night.
He started hearing movement outside his tent, and soon after, multiple voices right nearby. He stayed still and listened, but couldn't understand what they were saying. The voices sounded low and strange, and what bothered him more was that it wasn't the first time someone had come close, like they were moving around his campsite. Feeling uneasy, he kept quiet and didn't go out. After some time, the voices disappeared, and everything went silent again, and he eventually fell asleep.
20 to 4 in the morning. And I can hear that. Well, I've been hearing like screams. It's really weird. I don't know if it's some sort of bird or if it's actually someone screaming. It's far away, like. I'm too tired for this, man. Well, as long as it don't get closer, I'll be alright. Well, it's 4:15 now, and I can't get back to sleep. Look how cold it is.
Gaz later said he heard distant screams that weren't captured on camera, along with faint clacking sounds outside his tent. The people he had seen earlier kept coming back closer, seeming to circle his campsite. In such a remote area, their behavior felt suspicious. In the end, he left unharmed, but what happened that night remained unclear. This footage is from Two Seats Forward, a UK-based channel focused on van life, wild camping, and outdoor exploration. The event took place on November 30th, 2025, at Cannock Chase and White Ladies Priory in the United Kingdom.
Scared? Give us some light.
I'm trying to put the big one on.
Are you scared?
It's scary.
Are you a little bit? Okay. Try again. We've got the lighting right. Paul just nearly fell down the bank. We've got a few people behind us. You can't see it over there, but that is Castle Ring.
The group walks through the forest toward Castle Ring, an area in Cannock Chase known for its folklore and paranormal reputation. The woods are almost completely dark, with only their flashlights lighting the path and nearby trees. As they continue along the trail, the isolation becomes more noticeable, especially in a place known for strange sightings at night. Shortly after they begin their investigation, things start to feel off.
Trying to come through because the K2 has flashed.
Can I see here better?
Use our energy. Use our energy to light up the lights on the K2.
There's a lot of us here tonight.
Do we just make you feel uncomfortable because there's a lot of us?
A couple of us heard some whispering from here. I've put also 3 balls down that flash, that if you touch the balls or move the balls, they will flash as well.
A K2 meter suddenly started lighting up, even though there was no clear electrical source nearby. At the same time, some of the group said they could hear faint whispering and felt light pressure on their backs. The sensations were subtle, but enough to make the atmosphere tense.
I'm not moving, but my legs keep going backwards. But I'm not moving.
Okay.
I don't want to fall, but my legs keep going.
Straight off the bat.
You heard yes?
Straight off the bat.
Yeah. Go, if you want to ask a question.
Parlez-vous français?
Move round if you want to ask a question, Duncan.
Are you male?
Did you just...
I don't want to fall back, but I feel like, you know, like when the wind blows you, sort of move back slightly.
Just
like
let
my
yourself
legs want to
if
go
you,
back.
If you feel you're going,
But I don't
just let yourself
physically
go.
need.
The group starts a pendulum experiment using Jay as a human pendulum. He stands still with his arms relaxed and begins to sway slightly. They ask yes or no questions and use the direction of his movement as answers.
Come back to the middle. Back to the middle. Stand up.
Shoulders.
Okay.
Going backwards?
Yeah. Okay. Have you got control of Duncan's body at the moment? Yes or no? Move forward for yes, backwards for no. Okay, stand up. Come back. Come back.
You got to drive it in, yeah?
Then another participant, Duncan, takes Jay's place in the center. As the questions continue, he starts swaying more noticeably. The group interprets the movement as a response, believing it could be a teenage male spirit. Some of them also say the atmosphere feels heavier, especially since Cannock Chase is linked to sightings of a figure often called the Black-Eyed Girl.
It's about to begin. What's about to begin? Are you using Duncan to communicate? Come out of Duncan. We command you to come out of Duncan and move out now. Move out of Duncan. You're not welcome in Duncan anymore.
Later, they move to White Lady's Priory, another place known for paranormal stories. Right away, some people mention sudden cold spots. During a spirit box session, the name Ronald seems to come through, followed by a short phrase. Around the same time, Duncan reacts strongly, which leads the group to stop the session and tell whatever might be there to leave him alone. No one gets hurt, but the tension stays high, and they leave feeling unsettled, unsure if what they experienced was real or influenced by their surroundings and expectations. In February 2024, YouTuber Exploring with Bear goes solo camping at a spot he's visited before for part 2 of his winter series, bringing only basic gear while facing cold conditions expected to drop further overnight.
So, this is what we're going to be working with tonight. That's it. Bare bones, baby. Bare bone. I do have that reflector under there. So in part 1, we got our campsite all together. We got our fire going. We got our tent pitched. It is becoming much cooler now. Now, right now, it's currently about 40 degrees out. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it's going to be like 26, 27 or something like that. Much better than the 9 degrees it was the last time we was camping with a real feel of -10. That was freezing. Now, I know you're probably thinking, like, how are you going to stay warm then, Bear? That's still pretty freaking cold. This is all we're using. Rechargeable hand warmers that my wife got me. They say they're supposed to stay hot for 6 to 12 hours on a full charge. So I already did run them on the charger. We'll be unboxing them later, though, because it did have a nice little box. It was boxed up nice. So we will see how good these suckers warm up. I do have big, thick socks on. I am bundled up. I got a hoodie, big, thick flannel. I got my beanie. Granted, that is cold, but I think we're going to be...
The campsite sits near a lake surrounded by woods, with an offering tray where he'd left food before to attract potential Bigfoot activity. He's out there with minimal gear, testing whether his hand warmers can keep him warm through a cold winter night.
So yeah, in part 1, I had mentioned that this time I was going to do no knocks, no whoops, and leave them no food, because you guys have been commenting that all those things are bad to do. Back in the tent, and the hand warmers are... So they've probably been run. Sorry guys, I think I'm going to try to get a little bit of sleep, and if I wake back up, I'll check back in. If I don't wake back up, I'll see you in the morning. I just heard I don't know if I was even all the way asleep or what, but there was a huge crash outside. There's more than one. More than one. Grab runway. Something is standing right outside of the tent. It walked right up to the tent. Do you hear it? There it is again. What the heck is that? Oh. It's throwing stuff at the tent. I'm armed. No. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack. Man, whatever that is, I don't know what. I almost feel like it could be people messing with me. I just heard it breathing. Oh! I can hear it. No, please, no, please, no. Please, no. Please, no. Please, no. Please leave. Please leave. Please leave. I think it's leaving. So it's been about 5 minutes and I haven't heard anything. But my heart's still about to beat out of my chest, and I'm gonna take this opportunity and leave right now before whatever that was. Sounded like there was 2 of them. There's people, creatures, whatever that was. I am leaving before they come back. I do not feel safe. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not. Yeah, right now I hear nothing. I'm getting out.
Winter camping adds extra challenges because the cold limits how long you can stay outside and the nights are longer. Some people enjoy that level of self-reliance, but it also means facing real risks if your gear fails or something unexpected occurs. When Gaz, a solo van lifter, chose to spend the night in a remote medieval village in Yorkshire, he had no idea that the trip would be interrupted by the most terrifying sound he had ever heard at night. The campsite, perched atop the hills, was completely isolated, with the nearest settlement being known for its ancient churches and dark past, including being the final resting place of David Hartley, the notorious leader of the Crag Vale Coiners gang from the 1770s.
Here we go, look. Oh, pennies on it. David Hartley, 1770 to 1779. 89, sorry. Wow. Yeah, pigeons cooing.
As evening approached, Gaz returned to his campsite, finding the entire field completely empty except for himself and his dog, Fendi.
Nice view. What do you think to me windows anyway? Tinted and blue. I love them. I love this little camper. Got a nice grey awning as well. And these windbreakers, these were from Lidl. I bought them years ago because we used to do a bit of camping and stuff, and I've took them down on beach and whatnot when we've been on beach with kids. Don't know what else to show you. Oh yeah, I started changing this lot from that grey to this, but I'm not too sure about that stone effect. But what I do like is what I've done this table in, if I can get it down. Don't know if I'll get it down now. I do like that. So I might do all that in wood just to break up the grey a bit. Because everything's grey. I've got some new seat covers, which were, I think they were like 16 quid. PU leather. From China. Oh, let me put that back up there. Oh, it's not going to go up there now, is it? Hold on. There we go. Oh, rubber steering wheel cover. Because the steering wheel, look, it's like Wensleydale cheese and it just crumbles off in your hand. Are you happy now? There we go. She's just been scratching about for about 10 minutes. Try and get comfort.
The remote location offered complete silence. No traffic, no neighbors, just the sound of rainfall creating a steady white noise that soon lulled him to sleep. But the peaceful rest didn't last. Deep into the night, something suddenly jolted him awake.
I ended up lying down for a bit, but I ended up just drifting off to sleep. Oh, it's been peaceful though. But I've just woken up to what sounded like someone screaming. I can't figure out what that is. Must be some type of bird. Let me know in comments if you know what it is.
There was no one else at the campsite, no other vehicles, no other campers, just Gaz, his dog, and whatever was out in the darkness screaming. He stayed awake, listening closely, unable to shake the feeling that something was very wrong. The isolated spot that seemed so peaceful by day now felt threatening and exposed. Morning eventually came, and Gaz survived the night in the remote Yorkshire hills. But the memory of those screams echoing through the darkness lingered long after he left. For anyone daring enough to camp alone in isolated places, it's a chilling reminder. Sometimes the most terrifying sounds come not from inside the vehicle, but from the darkness surrounding it. Natalie, who runs the YouTube channels Natalie Outdoors and NI, is known for her immersive solo wild camping trips across Northern Ireland. In her latest video, uploaded about a week ago, she embarks on an overnight adventure into the rugged Annalong Valley in the Mourne Mountains. Despite carrying a heavy 16-kilogram backpack, dealing with a persistent back injury, and facing unpredictable weather, she pushes into the remote terrain, hoping for a peaceful night under the stars. The hike starts with excitement, but the physical demands quickly become apparent as she makes her way toward a secluded campsite she had scouted earlier.
I've just turned down the edge of the forest here, and I'm heading down towards Annalong Valley. I can't see anybody about, so I think we should be fine for a spot. I'm absolutely starving, so I see people walking down there though. Maybe there is other people looking for a spot. All I can think about is having my wee tent all set up and getting a cup of tea on. Now, I weighed this before I come out. 16 kilograms. 16. Well, just under. Now, for reference, I am 5'1" and I weigh about 8.5 stone. So that's what, about 30% of my body weight. which they say to keep it between 20 and 25% of your body weight, I believe. So I am overweight. I do suffer from a bad back and recently found out I have a bulging disc. So yeah, I could do with maybe going the ultra light direction, because I seem to just be adding weight on and weight on and weight on.
Her plan is straightforward. Set up camp, cook a warm meal, and maybe take a dip in one of the valley's natural rock pools. As she moves through the increasingly remote and uneven terrain, she crosses a fast-flowing river with all her gear and follows a faint path higher into the valley. Along the way, she comes across a grim sight: scattered sheep remains, bones across the grass, and a skull lying exposed. A stark reminder of how wild and untamed the area is, and that predators could be quietly watching nearby.
Somebody's missing a leg. Her wee sheep. Fox has had some lamb. Oh, I know what's up. It's a spine, maybe. Let's see if we can find any more. Am I going to come across a head? Oh, there's more bones. Follow a trail of bones. Oh, there's the skull. And its jaw has been ripped right off. There's more bones there. I'm camping in a graveyard. So I've reached Sanalong River. How beautiful. So we are going to walk all the way up and round this kind of corner here. And get set up. I'm actually going to just power on through and stop recording until I get up there, because it's after 6 and it's only like light until what, 7:30 now. So yeah, I will see you at the camp spot, guys.
Natalie presses on and finally chooses a spot to pitch her tent, though it's not her original target. With the weight of her gear and darkness closing in, she has to settle for a site that's a bit more exposed. She quickly sets up camp, layers up against the dropping temperatures, and arranges her basic supplies for the night. Just as she starts to feel a sense of accomplishment, her inflatable sleeping mat, troublesome on previous trips, begins to deflate again, meaning she'll likely spend the night with little to no insulation from the cold ground.
Feeling I'm going to be sleeping on the actual ground tonight because my Alpca mat, it just keeps deflating. Now, the last couple of camps, I had to pump it up maybe once in the night. The last camp, maybe twice in the night. Since I've got here, that's been pumped up 3 times. It goes down within about half an hour. I was on to Alpca, but they want me to send the whole mat back before they send out another one, which means then I would be matless for a couple of weeks and therefore won't be able to go out. But I don't know, I kind of give up with mats. If anyone has any recommendations, because they all just seem to do the same thing after a couple of weeks. Like, mat wasn't cheap. Yeah, basically going to be sleeping on the ground tonight. It's quite mild tonight. That mat is a 7.2 R value, so even though I'm on the ground, there's going to be a bit of insulation there. It's just a shame because it's an expensive item to have to replace. So.
Despite her frustration over the expensive mat, she presses on. After getting camp ready, she takes a quick, invigorating swim in the icy rock pools, a brief but thrilling way to connect with the surroundings. Returning to camp, she puts together a simple meal of noodles, coffee, and biscuits. Later, her drone flight hits a snag when it suddenly loses connection to her phone, sparking panic that it might be lost or damaged. Fortunately, a quick inspection shows it was just a loose cable causing the issue.
So my drone has lost signal to my phone. I don't know where it is. My camp is set up there, my noodles are sitting. I took a screenshot of the screen there, and I'm going to have to try and get up here. It's going to get dark soon. Oh my days. Not the drone. I think my DJI Care has run out as well, or it's nearly run out, because I think I'm coming up to a year of having it. That was the last place. It's saying RC not connected to mobile device. Oh my god! Ew! How is it still in the air?
3, 2, 1.
I'm so bad. I recorded a whole video. It must have been about 5 minutes of me talking, and I hadn't hit record, so here I am again. I'm just eating my noodles. I had pure panic with the drone, but the lead had just come out the back of my phone. That was all. There was no need to panic, Natalie. You just needed to put the lead back in. That had never happened to me before, so I thought it lost signal, and oh my god, it's going to be crashed at that location. So I screenshot the screen, so I knew exactly where it was, and thankfully it was above an area where the Mourne wall comes down and stops. So I would have been fine. I would have been able to get it, but I was panicking a wee bit, I'll not lie. But I just needed to plug the wire back in.
With the drone secured and dinner finished, night falls, though the quiet offers little comfort. The earlier sight of scattered bones lingers, and the faint rustle of movement among the bushes adds a subtle tension. Without any direct threat, the sense of vulnerability is unmistakable. Every sound and gust of wind serves as a reminder that isolation in the wild brings constant awareness. Preparing to sleep on a deflating mat in an exposed spot, the importance of reliable equipment, careful planning, and mental resilience becomes clear.
Okay, so I've packed up like what I can. I'm in full waterproofs, and I'm just preparing for worst case scenario. Leaving the tent is worst case scenario for me, but I'm prepared. I have full waterproofs on. I have checked the river, it's not near my tent. And yeah, I'm gonna close my eyes, see if I can manage a wee hour or two maybe, and I think we'll be grand. Yes, we're all prepared should anything go wrong, but I don't think it will. It always sounds a lot worse than it actually is, and if you've all followed like all the steps and prepared, then you're going to be grand. Like, I have my phone charged, torch is on charge, boots are sitting, loosened, ready to pull on, and I've jumped back in my sleeping bag just to keep warm. So yeah, I will update you in the morning on the situation.
By morning, Natalie is still unharmed, but the experience is far from romanticized. From technical malfunctions to the unsettling discovery of scattered remains, this solo expedition through Analong Valley is more than just a picturesque escape. It serves as a vivid reminder that venturing alone into the wilderness requires full preparation for discomfort, unexpected surprises, and the unknown. On Halloween night, nomadic Kangoo explored Epping Forest, known as one of the UK's most haunted woods, with frequent ghost sightings and a sinister history linked to London's criminal past. He aimed for Lawn Camp, a former tribal army base where hundreds of soldiers are said to have died, adding to the site's spooky reputation.
I don't know if I got that on camera, but a massive log just fell out of a tree. Pissing some ghosts off. You know what, like, I don't really believe in ghosts and stuff, but I know this forest is empty, and I've been staying in the other forest, but I've drove down to this Epping Forest, and I really feel a tension of like, I don't know, you like you're being watched. That sounds weird, and it sounds like you're saying stuff. I know all these people say that sort of stuff for YouTube, but there is a weird tenseness about this forest. There's a lot of noises going on, and there's a lot of like wood breaking. I don't know, as I've been filming, I've just felt like there's someone like watching behind me, or I feel like I'm being watched, being filmed, which I hate. You know, I hate that. That's why I like to do my film videos in the forest. But here, I've just felt like I've been watched the whole time. It is pretty eerie. It has creeped me out a little bit, to be fair.
The forest had an unmistakably eerie atmosphere that left him unsettled. As the sun quickly sank below the tree line, darkness swallowed the woods. Equipped with only a small head torch, visibility was extremely limited, and while its beams sliced through the blackness, he quickly began to feel disoriented, trying to find his way back.
Oh, mate. I've got a torch in my eye. I can't see where I'm going. I can't remember where I went. I don't know where I parked the van. I mean, the forest normally looks all the same anyway, but at night time it all just looks the same.
see the road. I found the road!
After making his way through the darkness, he finally reached the road and returned to his van. Consulting Google Maps, he spotted a nearby small church and decided to spend the night there. Once he arrived, he noticed a graveyard directly opposite his parking spot. The darkness was so complete that filming was impossible, and even trying to angle his van's headlights didn't help. He had no choice but to wait until morning to explore. When daylight came, he discovered a remarkable spot, an active church in the middle of Epping Forest, surrounded by gravestones and ancient trees.
Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to stay here for. I think it's still an active church, so I don't know if anyone's going to be around this Monday morning, but I don't want to get a caretaker knocking on my van, so I might skedaddle soon. Oh, well, it looks like someone's home. So maybe I won't hang around for too long.
The night at the church was filled with unsettling noises. While he had seen deer in the area, and some of the snapping twigs and rustling could have been wildlife, it didn't compare to what he'd experienced at lawn camp earlier that day. He wasn't saying the place was haunted, but the atmosphere there had been far more intense. The constant sense of being watched and followed by unseen eyes was impossible to ignore. On November 30th, 2025, a routine camera check on a remote hunting property starts to feel unnerving. The footage comes from Keeping It Dutch, a channel dedicated to wildlife tracking, land management, and hunting through hidden cameras. Dutch and his daughter Hope review clips near a creek, an abandoned bus, and a hunting blind. What begins as excitement over wildlife gradually shifts as the signs on the property suggest they might not be alone.
So we have made it down here to the creek. We're going to do a little hunting for Hope's birthday. We're going to check them as we go, and I'll keep you guys updated on if I'm missing any or if we got anyone on camera that's not supposed to be out here. Camera number one. And I don't know if these cameras show how many pictures we got or not. Got several on here. I'll be showing you guys that shortly. I'm letting it download the computer and we'll go check the rest of them. Okay, we may end up putting over here. We're gonna check those cameras and see what kind of activity we got. That's right by the bus. That's a huge 8-point Hope. And it looks like it's coming in right at dark time. Wow. We're not actually hunting right now.
Is this the buckets right here? Would you run and get the...
Maybe. Yeah, you can see a footprint right there. Looks like they were fighting right here. We're gonna check these cameras over here. Okay, so there's a fresh grape. Right there, there's the bus. I think this is the spot for tonight. Be careful. Hey, happy birthday. Okay, that's great, right there. Watch out, behind you. No, they didn't hit that one, but there's one right there too. See how they broke these limbs? It's right next to the bus, right where we're hunting. Okay, we checked the camera, and that big buck's coming over here, but we don't have them during daylight. That doesn't mean nothing. But there's a lot of deer. The most activity is in the morning time, and I have found out this has been a better morning spot over the last few years. I think you want to go across the creek. You want to hunt here. You want to try the other blind across the creek and see what happens, or you want to hunt here? Across the creek? Here? Okay. Hopefully birthday girl gets one.
The spot and then the deer are at the other spot.
All right, wish us luck.
Dutch and Hope begin by going through footage from hidden cameras set up along the creek. They spot a huge 8-point buck moving steadily near an old abandoned bus at dusk while they make their way across the creek to check additional cameras. Suddenly, something else shows up on the monitor, instantly making them uneasy, a sight that quietly sends shivers through the scene.
That was this morning at 7. Keep going down. There's several of them. There's a big boar running around here. There's a nice buck too. Keep going down. There he is again. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we might be trapping some hogs here soon. He's a big one. All right, let's go across the creek.
Yeah.
Want to?
A massive black hog appears near a hollow tree, its size impossible to miss, followed soon after by another buck. Both animals seem unusually alert, almost cautious, as if responding to something unseen. Dutch points out that the gate is locked and there are no obvious signs of trespassers, yet the area feels noticeably more active.
Okay, so it's been a couple days since I filmed out here. We put the cameras out.
What Dutch finds leaves him quietly wondering how it could have happened. One camera unit remains in place, but the SD card is missing. If someone discovered it, why take only the footage? He moves further into the woods toward a cave, where the ground shows heavy rooting. Corn has been placed near the entrance, and cameras are positioned to limit the field of view.
Okay, the rain is starting to pick up. That's not good because I got my laptop with me checking these. Okay, we put a couple other cameras that I didn't show you guys on camera out here by the other blind. We were going to come back this morning and it was raining and stuff and we didn't come. I had a decent little buck that Hope could have for sure got chasing does. Let me show you right now while I walk up here. Okay, you guys seen it. There's a hot doe up there. And that buck is chasing it, and that's right where the big one's at. So I'm going to check these cameras over here, and if there's nothing on camera the last couple days at this spot, then I'm going to go hunt the bus. Hope didn't want to come with me this evening. Okay, coming up on the first blind. Let's check this camera over here. See if we got anything. Okay, so you guys can see, we got a bit of a problem on our hands. This is out in the middle of nowhere. If this has been at the homestead, it'd been a bigger problem, I guess. But we got a lot of big bobcat that I'm catching all over the property right now. I've got one over here too. And I didn't have any pictures this morning over here. So I think I'm gonna make my way back over to the bus and I'm gonna set up over there.
Later footage shows several large bobcats moving across the property. Surrounded by predators and lingering questions, Dutch keeps monitoring as temperatures fall and daylight fades. Many viewers focus less on the wildlife and more on the missing SD card. While animals pose natural risks, human interference introduces a whole new level of danger. When the footage vanishes, but the camera stays in place, the question arises: is the land still under observation, or has someone begun watching you in return? On February 4th, 2025, outdoor YouTuber Walter Zollner set out on a winter hike along the Appalachian Trail near Mincy Overlook, expecting a peaceful trip and nothing out of the ordinary.
All right. Incredible view there from Mincy Overlook. We're going to go a bit further up the AT to get to the true summit of Mincy, and then we're going to turn around and I'm going to get a little further ahead, and I got to tell you about something that was very, very disturbing at the overlook up there. Really creepy.
While filming and talking to his viewers, he begins hearing movement in the brush behind him, which he initially assumes is just small animals, something common in colder weather when dry leaves make sounds carry more easily. But as he keeps walking, the noise doesn't stop and seems to follow along with him.
I want to get a little bit further up the trail, get some distance from the overlook before I put the camera down and talk to you about what just happened up there. Not the kind of thing you want to have happen on a beautiful day on a hike like this. Downright creepy stuff. All right, we are on top of Blue Mountain, the ridge that basically the Appalachian Trail follows this ridge all the way through Pennsylvania. And according to All Trails, there's one more little lookout here, Mincy South lookout. South is the direction I came from and the direction I live in. So I'm gonna sit down here and have a little talk with you about it.
When he finally looks closer, what he first assumes might be a bear turns out to be something much more unsettling. A man dressed completely in black, standing strangely still up in a tree.
All right, guys. Now I'm sitting here at the Mincy South Overlook, about a quarter mile past the main overlook, which should have been the highlight of this whole hike. But I want to tell you what happened there because I wanted to get a little bit of distance from there. So when I got to the overlook there, I kept thinking that I heard like an animal moving around in the brush, a little bit up the hill, a little bit behind me, not too far. I thought it was a small animal because in the wintertime, a small animal like a squirrel or a rabbit can sound large when it's going through the leaves. But I didn't think too much of it because the view was really beautiful. And I went into that lower area. Then I went up a little bit further and I kept hearing it. And then I looked and I saw something dark and black. And I thought, oh, that could be a bear. That would be cool. You know, weird to be seeing a bear in the daytime in early February, but the weather's been kind of weird. That would be awesome. And I'm looking and I start hearing like this music, like really like low bass, kind of creepy music. And I'm looking and there's this guy and he's like standing in a tree, all dressed in black like this. Okay. This was creepy. Okay, I'm telling you this. I'm not making this up. Now, I'm in the middle of filming my video. I got really unnerved by this, but I kept taking my couple of pictures. I didn't stay there as long as I wanted to, but I never like kept them, you know, I kept my eyes in the back of my head, if you know what I'm saying. I kept them, I look on them. Now, I always carry this with me. It's just a 4-inch, you know, basic buck knife. It's got a sharp blade. I don't ever want to have to use anything like this, but I definitely was, you know, keeping it ready. What do you do when you come across a really, really creepy person out in the woods? It's a good question. It's a tough question. First of all, trust your instincts, trust your judgment. If you get a bad vibe from someone, then trust that vibe. Try to get away from them. Try to know where they are and try to move away. Maybe he was just a kid, like a weird kid, and he was just, that's his spot. It's kind of a weird spot because it's one of the most popular places on the trail. The fact that he was just like sitting up in that tree and wasn't moving, and he was also smoking something. I could smell it. It had like a cherry flavor. I don't know if it was marijuana or tobacco or vape. But that's one of the creepiest things I've ever come across on a trail. Now, here's the problem. I got to go back through there again to get back to my car. I don't know if he's still going to be there or not. In a way, I hope he is still there so I know where he's at so I can just go past there and move along. But as the day's getting later here, a lot more people are going to start coming up the trail and coming to that overlook. That's the point of doing this hike. But if I was a young woman by myself, I would have been downright scared. I wouldn't even have stayed there for a second. I probably would have turned around because I got major hair on my neck, bad vibes from that guy. And I could be wrong, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. And that's what you should be thinking too. Like, better be safe than sorry, and carry some kind of protection. If you're a woman hiking alone, carry pepper spray, bear spray. If you have a license to carry firearm, carry a firearm. You know, I don't know if you can carry in a national recreation area because this is technically federal land, but in most Pennsylvania, like state forests, I think. I'm not sure about state parks and campgrounds, maybe out on the trail, but carry some kind of weapon that you're comfortable with to protect yourself, and hopefully you'll never have to use it. And look, 99.9%, I'm gonna turn around here, I'm gonna walk past that spot, I'm gonna stop and take another look at the overlook, and I'm gonna be fine. But that was just really creepy, and I wanted to get distance away from that person. Whatever they were doing, it wasn't normal, and I had to share that with you.
The situation becomes more intense when Walter notices a faint, rhythmic sound that almost sounds like music, along with the smell of smoke in the air. Feeling uneasy and exposed, he decides to leave the overlook early, staying alert as he moves away and ready to defend himself if needed. Moments like this show how unpredictable people can be, often feeling more dangerous than wildlife in remote areas, leaving the question of whether it was just someone acting oddly, or if Walter got out before things could have taken a much worse turn. In late autumn 2022, Josh, a solo van lifer, finished his last day of work in Minnesota and set up a remote campsite along Lake Superior. The site was miles from the nearest town, with no cell service and surrounded by dense forest rarely visited this late in the season. What began as a calm evening by the lake quickly turned into something he couldn't explain.
The clouds have rolled in, and it looks like the clouds are going to be here to stay, but it's late enough now to where the sun is going to set low enough to where I'm not going to get a good charge anyways through the trees. So we're going to go ahead and go to our campsite here. Alright, so I just saw the lake out between these trees here, so we're just about there. Alright, oh, they pulled the dock out of the lake. Let's go ahead and roll through here and see if anybody's even here. So yeah, I stayed here one video. Oh, jeez. Here. This is a wonderful spot down on the end here. I'm not actually going to take this spot though. Very nice spot though.
After spending the afternoon organizing his van and charging solar batteries, Josh drove deeper into the backcountry to find the ideal spot. The campground was nearly empty, with the docks already pulled for winter. He picked a secluded site right on the water's edge, even though the wind blew constantly toward his van from across the lake.
Because now it feels like the wind's going this way. Of course, it always blows into my van every time. It literally doesn't matter where I park, how I park, or what campsite, or wherever I'm at. Always, always, always. I could be 50 feet away and it would still blow into the van. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so this will be the spot. Usually the wind comes right off the lake. This is our final spot in Minnesota. Sad days. Alright, here's all the firewood we gotta burn. It's quite a bit. The fire is starting to rip, so I'm actually gonna go find some more small kindling and stuff just to keep everything going quickly. Because I kind of want to burn this stuff up quick. Alright. There we go, now we're gonna be sizzling.
As night settled in, Josh lit a fire and cooked burgers over the open flame. The temperature dropped quickly, and the surrounding forest fell into complete silence.
That's it. It looks pretty good. Looks really hot too. Alright, no idea what this camera angle looks like. But do the burger taste test here.
Then, while he was eating, something in the surroundings caught his attention.
Do you guys hear that? Okay, my camera battery just died. I have no idea what that was. It's gotta be a deer. Right? What would be walking through a lake? Is that a bird? Huh. Well, I think I'm gonna pack up and get inside the van. Okay, y'all, so I'm in the van. I literally have no idea what was out in the water. It sounded like it had legs and it was walking through the water. Yeah, it can have fun out there.
Inside the van, Josh could still hear splashing and movement in the water, which went on for some time before finally stopping. He switched on his diesel heater and tried to get comfortable for the night. Viewers offered various theories. Some suggested Sasquatch, others a Wendigo, a creature from Native American folklore that haunts the Great Lakes forests. The most chilling possibility, though, is the simplest. Something was out there, observing him, moving through the water without leaving traces, waiting until he was alone and vulnerable. Whatever it was, it convinced an experienced solo camper, accustomed to remote living, to pack up and leave first thing in the morning, and he never went back to uncover its identity. In late 2022, the YouTuber Rhythm Rider headed out solo to explore a desolate farmhouse tucked away in the middle of nowhere. Initially, it seemed like your typical abandoned home, just a family's old life left to gather dust, complete with worn-out furniture, fading photographs, and all the little personal scraps you'd expect to find in a place time forgot.
We're starting this explore off on the front porch of this awesome abandoned century home. This is just a random discovery we found while heading out for exploring. Obviously, I'm presenting with Zay. Talk to the hand. Got some Turn Ringwell PlayStation 2 games. Lots of pillows. And I'm noticing you got some lamps there. And those look to probably have a little bit of religious pictures on them, like Jesus. And I am noticing over here, before you even get inside, we have the 10 Commandments right there. But now let's go inside the house. Right away, you walk into the kitchen here. Actually, look at this nice double sink with the middle part there. I don't know what that's for. I think someone told me in one of my videos, but I forget. And then, of course, got this little rubber chicken. I guess not, of course, but you got one. So what's over here? This probably was I see a vent there. Some sort of plumbing setup. But yeah, nice big kitchen. You can tell this is such an old home. There was some modernization. Not the greatest. It looks like it wasn't really cared for. You know, the tiles are kind of coming away from the floor there, or from the cupboard.
Things took a sharp turn for the worse when he decided to peek into the basement. Even before he started heading down, the red flags were staring him right in the face. The dark down there felt heavy and oppressive, and the air kicked up a stench that definitely didn't come from anything still breathing.
Is this the basement? Oh, it stinks. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can read that. Black mold 100%, keep out. I'm not even going to frig with it. Just a quick peek. Oh, nope. The smell coming out of there is, wow. So we got the front staircase here, the main staircase. That's why I can smell a little bit still, because it's coming out of these vents down here.
Even though he decided to stay out of the basement, that nasty stench from below seemed to stalk him through the living room, seeping right through the floorboards as he tried to play it cool. But just as he was attempting to shrug it off, things took a sudden, intense turn.
Oh my God, guys. This is my first actual haunted house where I've captured a ghost. This is insane. Just kidding. But sorry about that. But yeah, so this kitchen area. So let's go over here. This is just the other side of the kitchen. Now, what I noticed just now, like, what the heck is this? Look at the fly paper, guys. Zoom right in, but look at that. That is disgusting. Like, that is so cake.
Surprisingly, the most terrifying thing they came across that day didn't even catch Riddim Rider's eye at first. Instead, his partner happened upon something tucked away in a distant corner that left both of them completely baffled and creeped out.
And she was just kind of nosing around, and she found a container full of something. Now, guys, watch this. This is a nightmare factory. Look at all these dolls. So I'm just going to do a quick one, but then I'll go show you guys up close every single little one and all little features about it.
Being miles from civilization with 0 bars on their phones meant they were totally on their own. Whatever was decaying down there had been rotting long enough to funk up the entire house, which doesn't happen overnight. It's a safe bet that someone had been in that place way more recently than it seemed, and there's a good chance they weren't the only ones there. Back on September 24th, 2022, the YouTuber Decaying Ace decided to poke around an old, abandoned school. But the very first thing they stumbled upon inside was a massive red flag that should have sent them running for the exit right then and there.
Okay. Yeah, not the best omen for us. We made it in. That was a little trickier than we thought it would be. We got a big old bird in here. Big one. There are a lot of deer that hang out in these woods. We're assuming there might also be a coyote. Let's get boss ready. Looks like we're hanging out like the boiler room right now. Yeah. The heat furnace or something.
The crew kept poking through the vacant rooms and corridors, scouting for any evidence that other people had been there lately, but every single spot they hit was totally deserted and looked like it hadn't been disturbed in ages.
Yeah, this is cool looking. Yeah, they got these chairs blocking off this. Not much in there. Look at all the desks in there. another big old classroom. That last bit definitely says Jesus Christ. Must have been a religious school of some kind. Look at all these old desks.
Finally, they wised up and decided to bail, leaving that creepy, haunted-feeling school in the rearview mirror for good. Had they stuck around and ventured further into the school's decaying wings, they probably would have stumbled upon the real reason that First Warning was there to begin with. And by that point, it likely would have been way too late to do anything about it. In April 2023, the YouTuber Freaktography trekked out to a bizarre, isolated house in the middle of nowhere. After a grueling hike just to reach the site, he was so drained by the time he arrived that he didn't even have the energy left to be creeped out by the building's weird vibes or the unsettling landscape surrounding it.
Holy crap, it's a long walk. Whew. See something up here. Holy cow, look at this place. How old must this be to be this far back? Holy crap, you guys. With my finger in the way there. Look at this place. This is literally in the middle of nowhere, guys. This place. Holy crap.
Once he stepped through the door, the discoveries piled up quickly. He was met with bizarre items, unsettling layouts, and an overwhelming sense that something truly dark had unfolded within those walls.
That's laying around doesn't look that old, but the overgrowth on the driveway looks like it's been decades that I had to go through on the way in here. Creepy doll that greeted us at the front door. It's a Disney guy, right? This is such a weird house. So far out in the middle of nowhere. What is going on back here, guys? Holy cow. What is this? This is just full of stuff on the floor. I'm not stepping in there. This place is kind of dangerous, guys. Now that I'm in and walking around. Yeah. So I don't like the main floor. Main floor is really boring. It's a doll again.
Heading up to the second floor only made things weirder, as he was greeted by an even larger collection of those unsettling dolls scattered throughout the rooms.
Chair right there. Okay, more dolls and toys. There. Man, this place is not safe.
Eventually, the exit was made, but right before heading out, one last look was taken at everything inside, as if there was still some disbelief that any of those sites were actually real.
I wonder how many kids they had living here. Another chair right there. Okay.
The isolation of that house likely wasn't an accident. It felt like a deliberate choice. Being so far from the road meant no passers-by could ever peek in, and any noise from within would be swallowed by the distance. A place that remote, packed with such specific, strange arrangements, seemed designed to keep a secret. By the time Freaktography finally arrived, his energy was completely spent. If a situation had turned dangerous inside those walls, there would have been almost nothing left in the tank for a quick escape. Early in 2019, the YouTuber known as The Fam headed out to check out a school site near Orlando, but it didn't even take an hour for him to realize exactly why the local explorer community had told him to steer clear of that place.
I don't know exactly what kind of school this is, but we're gonna find out. I'm not sure if it's haunted, but definitely has that creepy vibe already. It's kind of funny because we were just at a school that is probably bigger than most universities. And now we're at like a smaller school. Man, there's so much stuff they leave behind here, guys. That is nuts. Alright, let's see what we can find. Not the greatest sign, guys. Not the greatest sign ever. So apparently there has been some devil worshiping here or something, because that is not the greatest of signs to see right in the beginning. Whew. Wow. What the heck? Dude, this is just weird.
His gut feeling was spot on the moment he rounded a corner and came face to face with something so messed up, it forced him into a total lose-lose situation.
I'm telling you, this is like tripping me out. The wood walls, guys. There's just something like kind of creepy about the wood walls. What? Holy crap. Call me if you want to live? I'm gonna guess this is the nurse's station. I don't like that though. Call me if you want to live, and there's a number there? That is so crazy. What? Wait, is this the same? It's the same number I was in earlier. Okay. What is that? I guess that's black paint. It's a good thing they didn't use red paint. Okay, what is under this? Nothing. There's definitely not a lot of good stuff in here, that's for sure. Wait a minute, is that a circle? That's a circle. I knew they did demonic things here. That's salt. Wow, that is salt. That's salt, guys. That's a freaking salt ring. What are they doing in here?
After that encounter, he'd definitely seen more than enough and figured it was time to get the hell out of there while the exit was still an option.
We are gonna get out of here. This has been a crazy adventure. We're at a charter school. I've never seen anything quite like that though, guys.
If he had poked around the basement or the top floors before that run-in, he could have easily ended up boxed in with something blocking his only way out. In a massive place like that, filled with bolted doors and caved-in halls, once you're cornered, you're basically as good as gone. In late May 2023, the YouTuber Bearded Reality rolled up to a massive, bizarre old mansion in Shropshire. Before even reaching the front door, the place started revealing its strange character. Taxidermy bears and dogs were positioned throughout the initial rooms, each one set out with a level of precision that felt incredibly eerie.
And I can't believe this place, it's mad. Such a stunning, beautiful place, and it's just filled with bears. Like, it is literally filled with bears. Like, come on, my friend. There is bears everywhere. Like, oh, I'm so excited. Hey, look at the thinking man statue. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
The deeper the exploration went, the more intense the feeling of unease became. Every new room revealed something that ramped up the dread, uncovering sights that were far too disturbing to be explained away as the simple eccentricities of a former resident.
Oh, everything is here. You can tell it's like wooden. Lots of dog toys. And like workers' jackets, so maybe a man. Oh, worker jackets here. I don't think it. Workers' tools. Dog cage. Yeah. A bad spell from the worst witch. Oh, yeah. Oh, didn't they come with like a couple of coins? Look at all these things. A lot of dog toys. Like, yeah, Baker's dog. I have to show Gavin that. There's a lot of dog stuff. Like, lots of dog stuff. Oh, definitely an older dude, isn't it?
Eventually, after getting a look at the next discovery, the decision was made that enough was enough, and the forbidden building was left behind for good.
Okay, so the dog lived here. With his own mirror, apparently. Chicken on it. I love quaint and like little quirky places like this though. Like bears for days, eh? Oh, what you found there? The little birds. Birds. Lovely garden, isn't it? Proper. Yeah. Lovely house though as well. Like it's a nice little cottage. Cottage or farmhouse? That's a farmhouse.
Yeah.
Like more of that, and cottages are smaller.
The taxidermy was handled with such precision and kept in such good condition that it suggested a deep attachment, the kind of bond that doesn't just vanish. Usually when a departure is that abrupt, there's a strong chance of a return. Exploring a mansion of that scale solo is a massive risk. With so many rooms and floors, another person could easily have been lurking elsewhere without ever being detected. If someone dangerous had been there and realized a stranger was roaming the halls, the outcome could have turned gruesome in an instant. In September 2025, Ethan Minnie and his crew waded through piles of trash to check out what looked like just another rundown, forgotten house. However, as they pushed further inside, it became obvious that this place was far more than just a typical abandoned property.
This is one of the creepiest places I think I've ever seen personally. This is a giant mansion. It's been abandoned for years. Kind of like a local kids hangout, but there's been a lot of stories of just like paranormal stuff happening here. I'm not really a huge believer in that, but there's been stories. So I figured I'd come check it out. We're with Carlo, Mo, and Owen today. They're somewhere over there, but we're gonna start in the garage. Normally I don't do nighttime videos, but this place is all boarded up, so it doesn't really matter what time of day you do this one. But like you've got, what is this? Oh, it's like a Explorer RV Club. No idea, it's just stickers, I think. What is this? Oh, it's just like a... There's so much garbage. Look at this. Look at all the garbage. Jesus, 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 Jesus. Holy. Look at all the... Jesus is on the wall. It's everywhere. What the heck?
At a certain point, the reality of the situation truly hit home. It was clear that the former resident had been struggling deeply with their mental health. The writing blanketing the walls wasn't meant for decoration. It was frantic and compulsive, fueled by a religious fixation that had taken over every single inch of the house.
Look at it on the floor. The original color of these cabinets were green. Like dark green. It honestly looks more 40s built than 50s. Judging by the, yeah, definitely. Look at the construction. It's probably a 1940s home. Old pine wood shelves. Jesus loves you all. He will never for something. You only something do, and that is the truth. Jesus loves you. Looks like blood that's written in. Like, Jesus loves you. 23rd. Oh my gosh. Some very religious person came in here and vandalized this place. Is there a date on that door even? No. Old typewriter. That's kind of cool.
The most terrifying part was the creeping realization that much of that writing had likely been done in blood, coupled with the discovery of a spot in the building that looked like someone had been sleeping there just a short time ago.
Someone's cut himself and written Jesus.
What the heck?
Yeah, look, people, some here too. But upstairs, there's more of it. Really? Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's 100% what that is. What the heck? That's so creepy. What in the world? Someone might have been sleeping in here at one point, like homeless or something.
The presence of a sleeping area made it clear that someone had been using the space within the last few days. A person driven by that level of religious psychosis wouldn't just walk away from a place they had literally consecrated with their own blood. Ethan, Minnie, and the group were already deep in the heart of the building, boxed in by narrow hallways covered from floor to ceiling in frantic messages, before the danger of the situation truly registered. If a confrontation had happened inside that house of horrors, the encounter would have been absolutely terrifying. Back in the summer of 2016, YouTuber Stefan Prostpoker made the mistake of checking out a specific derelict house that gave off a creepy, unsettling vibe before he even stepped off the sidewalk.
And that's gonna be creepy, guys, but I already came here like once on daytime. Look at this house. I just left my car running because if something happens, no, that's my battery. I don't trust my battery. I'm on the balcony right now. I'm sorry, I've got no more light than this. Oh, it looks like somebody drinks the same beer as me. Oh, look at this. Oh, I can hear the raccoon right there. I'm gonna pick up my dog, but no. Right, yeah. Oh, that's empty. Look at the blinds right there. Hey, you guys are lucky that I'm doing that in English. That's his house. Look at this. Window right here. That's creepy inside. Let's go have a look inside.
Once they got inside, they stumbled across a bunch of rotting personal belongings left behind by the former owners. And honestly, the stuff just kept getting creepier the further they went. But absolutely nothing they'd seen in those rooms could have prepared them for the shock waiting for them right at the very end of their trip.
Yeah, like I said before, I already came here like, what? Oh my god. That was nothing. Yeah, sorry, I haven't. Not that much light. But that's cool, guys. Yeah. But let's do what we have. That looks. Look at the doors. Those are awesome. Sont belles en tabarnak, ces portes-là. Hey, j'ai vraiment la chienne. Je devrais aller chercher mon chien, mais j'ai peur qu'il y ait trop de raccoon. And oh, look at this. That wasn't there last time that I came to. If guys. Hey, il est propre en Chris. It's tiny. Well, nobody's there. I'm like far in the fields. Oh, look at the door. Oh my god. Look at this. Well, that wasn't there last time I came. What the f is that? C'est un carrosse pour les bébés. That's I don't know. That's a poussette. Hey, let's come back later. That wasn't there last time. Let's just watch. Look at this room just before going on the other one. That go on the other floor, but there's no stairs right here. You have to climb on the wall. That's up there. Hey, let's go see the other side. Look at this window. That's really old style. Look at the broken window everywhere. That's what I'm walking on, broken glass. And this one, there's no more window. You can see outside. Well, it's like grass, but it's like high. And that's all a big field of corn on the cob. Yeah, and on the other side, that's soy. Hey, let's go see the other room right there. Did I take a beer too many or what? You've been beer too? That was on the other side, man. That thing moves on. That's scary, man. My car's still there. Yeah, the car is still there. That's scary. But maybe that's just my main. Maybe it was like this. I'm really sure, positive. It was on the other side. Hey, let's go watch that. Oh.
Even with all those desperate screams for help, there wasn't a single kind person around to hear them or pull them out of that crumbling, middle-of-nowhere wreck, leaving them completely on their own. Jason and the team from Motor City Magnet Fishers were working under the Tianmen Bridge, pulling up the usual mix of items like scrap metal, street signs, brake parts, and even an old revolver. It all felt like a normal day of magnet fishing until one of Jason's throws brought up something completely unexpected. Tangled on the line was a strange mass that was hard to recognize at first.
Oh my God!
GoPro, start recording.
No, don't.
No.
Cal, come here.
I don't think it's in.
Don't record.
It's either a dog or it's a person, dude.
No,
that's a rib cage right there, right?
Rib cage, yep.
All right. I hope it's a deer, but it's wrapped in a chain, Van. All right. Get everybody off this side of the bridge.
Somebody to go on that side of the bridge, please.
Not a person.
I hope it's a dog, dude.
Would be a really big.
Oh, it stinks horribly bad. Either way.
That looks like a deer.
What'd you side's fur?
What?
Backside's fur. You can see the fur right there. So it's a dog or a deer.
Looks like it was in a bag too.
Here. It's a dog. I can see the jaw now.
Yeah.
What do we do about that? Animal control ain't gonna come out for that.
There's not much they're gonna do. I mean, you can literally pull the chain off, go back in the water with it, or you have to pull it to shore and get it out of there.
Hey Sally, it's Jason. Hey, we moved over to Tireman. I've got a dog's body stuck to my magnet. I didn't know who we should call. Should we call police? It's got a chain wrapped around its collar. Somebody threw it in and drowned it. Okay, if you could do that, that'd be great. We're gonna try to drag it over to the shore. It's mostly bones, but it smells horrible. All right, thank you.
As they pulled it closer, the outline of a rib cage started to show, along with a heavy chain wrapped around a collar. It became clear they had recovered the remains of a dog that had been weighed down and dumped into the water. The smell was overwhelming, and the condition suggested it had been there for a long time. Not knowing who to call, Jason contacted a local responder, who then arranged for the proper authorities to come and take the remains.
Out so you can go right around it. You want to see if you can go down there and we'll drift a rope to you?
Poseidon's too heavy. Just pull it straight down. Somebody might want to catch the other half of that chain.
The chain probably has concrete on it.
Something.
Want to grab a hook?
Let's see how it rolls. Let's hold together. I don't really want to bring it up any further.
Yeah. There's no way to get the Poseidon back without pulling it up, though.
Oh, it's...
Wow.
Roadwork sign. Construction sign?
Yep. That one's like a heavy-duty ivy.
It's been there a while. It's old looking.
Oh, that looks like an old revolver. It is an old revolver. That's a big one. Oh,
geez. Yeah, a big muffle.
Oh. That is, that's an oldie.
It's awesome.
It's an oldie, but a goodie. Oh, jeez.
Say, put it back in.
Cylinders. Nope, cylinder's not popped. Wow, that is a
That's huge.
Big freaking. Holy cow.
It's awesome.
The cylinders I see are empty. I don't want to look straight down the barrel. That might be a 357. Awesome.
Good job.
They took off the chain, slowly guided the body to the shore, and stepped back so animal control could handle the situation. What began as a normal magnet fishing trip suddenly turned grim, clearly pointing to something intentional rather than an accident. The chain on the collar hinted at deliberate harm, leaving behind uneasy questions about what really happened under that bridge. As they packed up, one thought stayed with them. If someone could do this to an animal, what else could be lying beneath the surface, unnoticed in those waters? On July 24th, 2025, the YouTube channel Paul Zohard uploads a ride that quickly goes off course. Known for aggressive riding, stunts, and off-road challenges, Paul heads out with his crew for another chaotic adventure. A rare guest, Rob, is tasked with leading the route, taking the group through ditches, flooded paths, and tricky terrain. The ride starts off with jokes and small stunts, but the fun fades when Rob leads them into a muddy drainage ditch, where water and thick mud tug unpredictably at the bikes.
Look at that wall ride. That's a big one. Bro, it's a straight up madman if he's considering. I guess it doesn't seem that steep to ride up. I'll ride up it. That's low-key doable. Oh my god. That's gonna be such a hard landing. Bro, I pray for your help. That's doable. Ain't no way. It was wild that I almost gonna tell him like, bro, don't do it. But like, that is such a good lip. Bro, I feel like the lip is there not to instigate you. Like, I don't want you to do this, but...
Believe it or not, I think I gotta jump in between these two.
In between these two. Yeah. Oh my god. That landing's gonna hurt. Oh my god. Bro's really doing this. Insane. Guys will do anything but go to therapy. That's the title of this video. He put the rock down there so it's smoother than suspension. Oh, this isn't that steep. Bro, I don't know. That is crazy. Oh my god. That is crazy work. Like, the last thing you want to do is clip the fence. And Rob, dude's like, he's like 40 or something. We'll get his exact age in a minute, but... he ain't no spring chicken. Oh my god, he's carving up there for... I need to call his friends and see what they have to say. Do I need to call, see if I should be concerned about you doing this?
If you want to, nah. It looks low from here. But coming up from here, it looks a little higher.
Yeah. Because yeah, your suspension's gonna already want to compress.
So if I got speed, second.
I don't know if I want you to do this, bro.
Rob spots a narrow gap below that could launch him over the fence. Paul calls him a madman, warning how risky it is, but Rob carefully sizes up the run, adjusts his line, and goes for it anyway. What happens next is unforgettable.
Oh, it came up a little bit. Oh my god. Imagine just driving down the road and you see a dude flying. Oh, he's up there hyping himself up. Guys, this is no joke. Like, the last thing you want to do is clip the fence. Oh! 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 You good? You good? Fuck. Damn, he broke his wrist. Damn, he almost had it. You coming around? You need help? You need help?
Go to the hospital.
Alright, we gotta go to the hospital. Damn it, Rob. Damn it, Rob.
Rob launches off the jump and nearly makes it, but his rear wheel or skid plate hits the fence. The crash throws him down, breaking his wrist and nearly knocking him out. Thankfully, his riding partners respond immediately, keeping him conscious and rushing him to the hospital. The incident shows that even with skill and planning, terrain, physics, and timing can turn against a rider. It begs the question, was the real danger the jump itself, or the series of risks that led up to it, making retreat seem impossible? This story comes from CJ Faison's YouTube channel, where he shares his explorations of abandoned places and supposedly haunted forests across the US. On October 26, 2024, he went on a van camping trip to the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, a large isolated forest known for its eerie history and local legends. What started as a normal trip quickly turned into something much more unsettling.
This is a solo van camping trip. I don't have friends for protection. I don't have anything for protection because it's the terrible state of New Jersey and they don't like weapons. So it's me, bare hands, and a camper van. I also have my e-bike that I'm going to be loading up inside of this. And yeah, I'm just going to go and explore around tonight. I'm going to spend the night inside of the van. Courage here really wants to go, but I just don't feel safe leaving Courage. Come here, Courage. They want to see you, buddy. I don't feel safe leaving Courage in the van while I go explore, not on like the first one at least, and especially not in the Pine Barrens. Now, if you know anything about the Pine Barrens, it is rated one of the top 5 most haunted forests in all North America, not to mention they have what they call pineys. Now, the pineys are people who live out there. Some are homeless, some have homes. That right there, probably one of the nicest things. I can keep the bugs out of the van. So basically, we're getting down into like these cooler nights, right, of the summer. And I tell you what, like me even being here right now, I'm just stoked because it's coming into camping season, right? A lot of people, they go, that was weird. I'm losing my mind right now, but I'm like 99% sure something's on the other side of the van, so we're gonna go a quick look. Let me grab this off the tripod really quick. Listen, everybody, nobody's doing these solo van adventures. So just putting that out there. Man, this is wicked crazy at night. Wicked crazy at night.
At first, everything felt calm, but that quiet was broken when CJ heard a strange knocking on the other side of his van. He stopped and listened, then went around to check, but there was nothing there, no person or animal. Thinking it might have just been in his head, he ignored it and carried on, not realizing things were about to get worse.
All right, everybody. I went ahead, put the camera in there, all that good stuff. I'm just gonna take like a quick spin around here. Just kind of see, oh, you know what I didn't do? I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. I didn't even close the camper door. I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. Oh gosh, no. I didn't close the camper door. Oh, damn. I'm an idiot. I just realized that. I don't know why. It just dawned on me. Hello? Those 2 logs are knocked over. The 2 logs are actually knocked over. I know for a fact that one was standing up, and I know that I'm 99% sure that one was standing up too.
When CJ got back to his campsite after riding around, he noticed that 2 logs he had left standing were now knocked over. He was sure they were upright before, which meant something had been there while he was gone. That realization made the whole place feel a lot more threatening.
So, going to set up a GoPro outside. I just had one. This is not the mount. What was
be lying if I said I'm not pants right now. Come on. That's somebody's flashlight. Hello? Hello? I'm not sure if y'all could hear that, but that was like a... I don't even know. It was a ding or a something. Somebody's out here. Obviously. A damn flashlight doesn't fall clean out of the sky.
While sitting in his van, a loud bang suddenly came from outside, making him jump. He rushed out to check, but found nothing, just the still forest. Then he noticed a faint light moving in the distance and went toward it, only to find a flashlight on the ground that wasn't his, and hadn't been there before. That confirmed someone else had been nearby. As he was processing it, another strange noise came from deeper in the woods, and he started moving toward it, making the situation even more unsettling.
They're either down this way right here, or they're behind that big bush. I don't know which one. Whoa! No. You motherfucker! I'll beat your ass with this flashlight if I find you. See, this makes me think like, okay, is this like an actual person out here with me? Like a deranged maniac in the woods? Or is this ghost-like? Oh, no way. Hello? Listen, dude. Listen. If you're with me, just come out and say it.
The sounds didn't fade. They got louder and more intentional. CJ started hearing clear clapping echoes along with sharp knocking sounds in the dark. Even without seeing anyone, it felt like something was moving just out of sight, staying hidden while getting closer. The way the noises happened didn't seem random. It felt planned, like someone was circling him. That was enough for him to head back into his van and shut himself inside, hoping for some safety, but the night still wasn't over. I'm guessing I didn't clip that correctly. Door's still locked. Unlocked. Locked. Oh my, I didn't even put the shades up. That was stupid. Alright, the e-bike's still there, that's good.
He woke up to someone pulling on his van's door handles, clearly trying to get inside. Luckily, the doors were locked. As he moved closer, he realized the front window covers weren't up, so whoever was outside could have seen him sleeping. By then, it was obvious someone had been around his campsite for hours. He stayed inside and made it through the night, then packed up and left as soon as morning came, shaken but unharmed. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.